Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jae Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Dr. Rob Bell, the founder and CEO of DRB and Associates. Dr. Rob Bell brings a fascinating mix of expertise in sports psychology and mental performance coaching. Over a decade of experience working with professional athletes and corporate executives to build mental toughness, and a passion for helping individuals identify and capture their hinge moments for peak performance. Based in Fishers, Indiana, DRB and Associates, founded in 2011, is revolutionizing how athletes, coaches, and teams amplify their resilience and perform under pressure. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the mental toughness space, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Rob, welcome to Founders Future.
Hey, thanks for that intro, Jay. Appreciate it, man. Good to be here, bud.
Absolutely. A pleasure and an honor, an incredible background that you have. Truly looking forward to the conversation. So with that, I would love for you to take us back to the beginning, if you can, for our listeners, and just talk a bit about what specific problem in the mental toughness landscape really inspired you to start DRB and Associates.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was the athlete that thought too much. Growing up, no one could ever help me out. I was like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. So it was like, but no coach could ever help me out. So the seed was planted there in terms of what I wanted to do. But it wasn't until I had a hinge moment in college that I totally ruined baseball for me. I fell off an 80-foot cliff and should have died, but I was given a perspective, but baseball was done. But I made a commitment to myself. If I ever get a second chance of life, I'm going to go all the way. If it wasn't, our worst moment becomes our best moment. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have taken that psychology class. And when I took that psychology class, I knew it was tattooed in my heart. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to work with athletes, coaches, and teams, helping them play their best when it matters the most. Didn't know what that looked like or what it was going to be, but that's when that seed was planted. And then, and that was the thing, is like, if I ever get a second chance of life, man, I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to make it happen. And that's when it really, that was planted then. But the route of there was never like a plan. There was never a route. So it was went to grad school and then my doctorate and then started working with athletes. But I wanted to make money. So I went the route of that most academics do. I just went the academic route. So as a professor from 2006 to 2011. And then that's when it started because I wasn't happy and I wasn't all in. And I think we're either all in or we're in the way. And I made the commitment then. I was two kids under the age of 5, and it was faith, a leap of faith, and started my own company then. And then that's when, look, man, I had a lot of lean years really at that point, but I just knew you just got to keep moving. You just got to set these small goals that are in front of you that you can, and then momentum and execution really take hold. But that's when I left being a professor. That was another all-in moment, and that's really like then when that business took off.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. I would definitely love to get into the business, exactly what you're doing with it today after going on 14 years of being founded and succeeding there. So talk to us a bit about how you're generating revenue today. So especially around the core offer, I know you have the tailored mental toughness coaching for athletes, you have keynote sessions, you have the books that you have. What are the core offers and who's the ideal client that you're working with on your offers?
Yeah, absolutely. When any kind of athlete, everyone's an athlete, or office is just different.
Yes.
When COVID hit, what came out was a lot of executives that I started coaching. Executive coaching was never the route that I focused on,
Yeah.
but they really came out, and then that became a huge part of my coaching business. So let's just say, though, it's a collegiate athlete or a high school athlete that's struggling. Like anybody that comes to us, we're going to feed them. Like you're going to get fed. It just depends on what meal you want. Do you want the McDonald's Happy Meal, or do you want like the Ruth's Chris experience? And
Right.
so me, unable to work with everybody, I've got a couple assistants, man, that will take these athletes and making sure that they get fed as well. With the core offer of what we work with our athletes, like we make that, and this is the part, is they make the commitment for a year. Like you got to commit to a year of coaching. That way we have enough leeway that it isn't a all right, I've just got a pain. I need you to take care of the pain. No, I want growth, and these are going to be the benchmarks, and this is success. I know I can get there. But again, like anything, it takes time. And that's why I'm always looking for probably 2 out of the 10 calls that we get. What I mean by that is 8 out of the 10 calls are dentist calls, meaning if I've got a pain in my tooth, I'm not waiting to call the dentist. I'm calling up right away. Take care of this pain in my tooth. So they're pain calls. That's 8 out of 10 calls that we have. And what we look for is those 2 out of 10, the ones that, you know what, I'm just not reaching my potential. And I know there is other pathways and strategies and techniques to get there. Let's see what this offer is and what that roadmap would look like. So that's how we basically approach our coaching.
Amazing. The coaching is really the bread and butter of what you're doing there. Are you still providing some executive coaching for leadership CEOs, or is it really mainly on the athletes that you're focused on now?
Like I said, everyone's an athlete or office is different. So I call them corporate athletes. And I've
Okay.
always got, yeah, I love the one-on-one. Like I've gone like sometimes that group coaching route. And I think that's effective and I'm not down at all. But I think a lot of times it's more for the coach than it is for the client. So I keep our client base pretty small where I can devote enough time to them, helping them get to where they want to go. So I always have a handful of those. But yeah, still speak probably once a month to corporate and then training and writing books. That's what I love to do, man.
I love it. So, I mean, with that, there, you just mentioned something that stuck out to me. So, I'd love to hear you expand on it a bit, and
Mhm.
that's the keeping the clientele small. So, is this something, Rob, that now you're looking to scale and grow and really blow to the next atmosphere and get a lot more clients in, or are you keeping this homegrown, close knit, really more of a passion project at this point? What does that look like for you on the future of the business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a little bit of both. It's always exploring it. But the core business of what we have is one-on-one coaching. So with our core model that we have, it's helping people get to where they want to go. And our job is to work ourselves out of a job. Not many coaches take that approach. That's our approach. And the reason why that's our approach is because if you reach your goals, we're going to reach ours. That's the main thing. It's focused on reaching your goals. So we making sure these are clear, they're communicated well, and but we're always exploring, hey, different ways to communicate the message. How do we get the message to more people? So we're always exploring that, but it's still one-on-one. And that's the thing. It's always, and I love the idea of residual income. That's how I think real wealth is made. Absolutely. So I'm always trying to get away from trading time for money, and I get that. But the part that I keep getting back to is, man, I love what I do and I love investing the time.
Yeah.
And that's where I focus on. We just help people get to where I want to go. We're going to reach our goals. And that's why when we keep that list small and we give them the best service that's possible, help them where they want to go, that's a premium service that they're getting as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that there, talk to us a bit about what is working well for the acquisition side, being that you like to keep it close knit and really pick and choose the clients that you know you could provide the highest quality with. What does that look like right now? What channels are most effective, whether it's ads that you're running, social media, referrals, the events that you're doing? Talk us through what that looks like on the lead generation side for you.
Yeah, lead generation side, everything that we do in terms of blog posts, the podcast that we have will bring leads. Speaking always brings leads. If someone buys a book, and we do some advertising as well, mostly like on social media side as well, but it's mostly just to get people in to, can they get fed? Can they hear one thing from a book? Can they get one idea that they're going to be able to apply like right away? And from that, the people that are really hungry, that really want to go that next step, they're always reaching out. And the way that we start is, again, we're always starting with that discovery call, right? Because we might not be the best fit. And we take the approach is if we're not the best fit, let's find that out early on. And with that discovery call, with those questions, we go through a lot of those because it's just really about finding the right fit. Now, then I think when you find the right fit, like it naturally happens, it naturally takes care of itself. And then but yeah, I mean, we're looking for the people that are obviously looking for us.
Yeah, absolutely. On that front, as far as the channels have been effective, what challenges have you been seeing on that? And are there any additions that you're looking to implement into that system to have maybe more predictability or more consistency in the clients that you are speaking with?
Yeah, indeed. Good question, man. Really good question. I can tell you've done this one before.
Yeah.
I think those challenges are everyone's a coach
Yeah.
and not everyone wants to get coached. And where we are right now is you can get the answers.
Yeah.
I think you can search for the answers. You can find the answers and apply them, but is it going to help you when you have the setback? And
Mm.
that's the part of the guide's journey. Like we're not the hero in this. You're the hero in the story. We're just a guide to help you get to where they want to go. But when you experience the setback, it's about the comeback. And do you have somebody that's coming alongside you throughout that journey? That's the part that we look at. So it's just really always the biggest challenge is to be able to find those that are going to be good fits, that are willing to invest the money and the time into themselves, which I think is the most precious resource we've got.
Absolutely. So, I mean, with that there, what does that team look like behind you now? 14 years in now, Rob. Are you still running this as a lean operation, more of a solopreneur? Or do you have a sales team, marketing team, assistants, and everything behind you really pushing things forward? What does that operation look like for you?
Yeah, I've got two different coaches then that will take different athletes. And then my wife and I, we work together. So she joined the team here a couple years ago. And then I've always got admin staff behind it, and I've always got an intern coach as well that's learning the business and really just trying to help them get to where they want to go as well. Learning, hey, what are you really effective at as well? So that's what the team looks like. So yeah, it stays pretty lean, but that's where we can always move the boat pretty quick too. It's not like a big aircraft carrier where we're trying to move it. We can always turn and pivot and go in different directions pretty quick.
Absolutely. So, what is the sales side and the sales operation? Speaking to the clients, getting them on board, is that something that
Mhm.
you're fully handling on your own as a founder, or do you have someone else talking to your clients before they come in and work with you guys?
Yeah, so we take a team approach in terms of, so we'll usually have another coach on there as well in terms
Gotcha.
of discovery calls.
Yep.
But I'm always on there as well just because I love people's story. I love people,
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
hinge moment, right? How did they get to where they want to go? Where do they want to go? Where do they think's holding them back? And so, yeah, I'm part of those discovery calls. We're always taking a team approach, but always on there as well.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love it. What can you point to, Rob, thinking about taking a step back, looking at everything and seeing where you want to go and where you are now? What are some bottlenecks that are in the way that you need to break through, especially this year, moving forward in 2026? What are those main bottlenecks that you're thinking about? Whether it is more lead generation or sales team, maybe that you want to bring on. Talk us through that a bit.
Yeah, I think some of those bottlenecks would be that residual piece.
Yeah.
So the residual income of more sponsorships for our podcast. We've got three sponsors, but again, they're always time based. So it's like, how can we take that podcast to the next level? And man, we're always learning here, right? Like, how are we getting those flywheels done? How are we taking that blog post, creating the content from that, and then just making sure people get into the ecosystem. And once they get in the ecosystem and getting fed and getting information, and that piece as well. I think early on, like one of the big struggles was we were teaching them, man, but we weren't selling. They would get the information that they wanted, but they just didn't want to buy anything. So that was the part of, yeah, we had a lot of loyal following there, but they weren't buying because we weren't selling as effectively. So that became part of that process as well, as we're selling earlier on. And when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, man. When they're ready, then we become the person that they're ready to get coaching from.
I love that. So with that, I would love to hear a
Yep.
bit more of the picture for the rest of the year, exactly what you're envisioning, really what you're focused and laser locked in on for the rest of this year for that continuous success that you want to achieve.
Yeah. So this year, and this gets into personal as well
Yeah.
because there's a race. One of the things that I'm always a product of the product. So when it comes to mental toughness, I like doing a lot of ultras.
Oh,
And because man, we've been blessed enough. The speaking engagements are already booked to the end of the year, and we have the clients that we're with. And not saying that we're not going to still keep focusing, but where we're at right now, we're focused on like Q1, Q2 of next year.
yeah.
And in terms of got the idea for the book that's coming out, but what is immediate? And I'm glad you brought that up, man. So hopefully share it. But there's a race, it's a backyard ultra.
Hmm.
So it's a 4.1 mile loop. And at the top of every hour, you need to run that same 4.1 miles. And
Wow.
there goes until there's just one finisher left. And
Wow.
so we talk about being all in, like this is taking a lot of time. It's a family approach because if you think about ultra marathons, like I might not see that 5 hours later. With this, we come around and we're at the same spot at the top of every hour. So if you run that 4 miles in 44 minutes, you got 16 minutes to rest, refuel, stretch, get ready for the next one. If you come at 48 minutes, so you don't need to be the fastest, you just can't quit. but the team that we have there as well. So my whole family is part of the team and they're crewing. And this part's just been quite a journey, man, because look, man, we get the test first and then we get the lesson afterwards. That's the way life works, right? So it's the same thing for this. And we're creating a mini little documentary from this one as well, just to show what the journey is, show what that commitment is. Because with anything, man, it's if I try doing that, like, I'm 75% in on this race, it's not going to go well, man. You got to be all in. You're all in or you're in the way. And that's what this year has really been focused on, man, is making a full effort and to see how well we can do.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. And best of luck to you on that, Rob.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
looking forward to it. Definitely send us some links when that's out. I would love to see the documentary on that. It's going to be super cool to see what goes into that. And as you mentioned, just the mental toughness that you need to be able to be a part of a race like that and the support system behind you. Definitely looking forward to seeing how that turns out. So I got one more question for you here,
Yeah,
Rob.
man.
Going into the lightning round. And on this side, I would love to hear from you where you see the mental toughness and sports psychology industry evolving in the coming
Mhm.
years with your research backed approach and from your over a dozen peer reviewed articles and everything you've poured into the space. What are you doing to keep yourself at the forefront of the evolution that you're picturing?
Yeah, that's a good man. Always trying to, again, AI is a hinge moment, I think, in all our lives, whether we like it or not. You can find the answers that are going to be out there. So I think it's just being part of the journey with people that are going to want the guide. Where I see it going is it can be just real niche, real niche. And again, like there's counseling psychology and then there's mental coaching, there's sports psychology, what I do, right? Like the counseling psychology, addictions, family therapy, mental health issues, mental illness, all very important issues. That's not what we do. What we're trying to do is take people that are very functional and just help them get to where they want to go, reach that next level. I don't see in terms of when it comes to one-on-one that changing, but what I do see changing the landscape of how are people getting the information. So we've created a model, and this one was real specific, like for golfers. Those are a lot of our pros, but creating that mental model as well. They got that second brain of, hey, this is if you don't want like the individual approach here, man, ask the question, and then it's all our information on there for them.
Absolutely amazing. So just two more questions for you here,
Yeah.
Rob. In the lightning round, the first one's going to be on a tool or resource side. So whether it's a mental toughness technique from one of your books or strategy from coaching those PGA pros or an AI tool that you're using, what can you say has been the biggest game changer for DRB and Associates this far?
Oh, man, probably the biggest game changer was a podcast.
Hmm.
Just because I love interviewing people and the amount of ideas that I get from the interviews that we have. Joe Madden winning, being the manager of the Cubs in the World Series, like really diving deep into that. I can't get that from a book, man. I got to get it from the interviews. But the podcast has probably been the biggest game changer. And I just see the AI tools that we have out there now. It's tremendous, man. It's absolutely tremendous. So it's just being able to make sure we're on the right ones. And we're always experimenting and trying things out, man. If you're not growing, you're dying one way or another. And I always say, and I tell my athletes this one, man, like just because you're not blooming doesn't mean you're not growing.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So last question, definitely not least here to wrap us up. What is the best piece of advice, Rob, that you can offer to our listeners tuning in, just heard your incredible journey and everything that you are providing for your clients? What can you leave them with before we finish up?
Boy, great question, man. I appreciate you asked that one.
Yeah.
People say getting started is the hardest part, right? So what you got to do is get started. And I'm not disagreeing with that, but I think the second one is it's how you respond after the setback. So let me
Mm,
use a general example. Everyone, man, my goal is to make it to the gym 6 days a week. I got it the goal, right? Or let's just say to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 10 pounds. And they have that as the goal. Getting started, you can do that. And then they get started. But then what happens when life gets in the way? Then we have a kid that's going to be sick and now we have to travel. Then we miss the workout. The key is don't miss two workouts in a row.
mm,
Missing one workout, eating one piece of cake isn't going to ruin anything. But what happens in our own mind is when we eat the piece of cake and we're like, ah, screw it, man, I might as well eat the whole cake. That's
right.
when it becomes an issue. The fact of we miss a workout, we're like, oh man, see, I knew I couldn't do it. Then just don't miss two workouts in a row. So it's not the starting, it's what happens after the setback happens. It's not about the setback, it's about the comeback. Can you get back onto doing what you're doing?
Incredible there. With that, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Rob, truly cannot thank you enough for coming on the show, sharing your incredible journey and insights with myself and the listeners. Clear as day, the drive, the passion, the intelligence behind what you're doing here. The work speaks for itself. So truly an honor and a pleasure. The conversation was phenomenal. Thank you so much again. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And also check out DRB and Associates at drrobbell.com for their free resources like the 10 ways to instantly improve your mental game of golf. And follow Dr. Bell on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Dr. Rob Bell. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.